Well, the beautiful woman is asleep. Her day started at 2 a.m., so I can understand that. But as we approach late evening, let me read a little something to you. It's something that I wrote. Here we go. I guess I'll just read it to you. Present. All right. Mwah. Hello. May I speak to Lewis, please? Say, Lewis, that you? Ah, it is. You sound familiar. Do I? Dude, this is April. April Hill. Do you remember me? I. Yeah, completely. Hey, I never thought I'd. Wow! The sensation of dizzy came back for the second time today. This time he felt a sunburst of feeling, a kind of joy. And Gina, love of his life. Wow. I just came back to town and I got your number, April continued giddily. I've been doing some modeling, well, hand modeling mostly, but I was in Cleveland when the urge to come home hit me in a big way. I imagine that often happens in Cleveland. You're quick like always. I really hope you don't mind me just dropping in from out of the blue, but I asked around and decided to look you up. She paused. You mind if I admit something to you? I never forgot you, Lewis. You were one of the coolest people in the world, like the first truly cool person I think I ever knew. Thanks, April. I thought you were really cool too. I appreciated catching your notice. I'm glad you remembered me. He wanted to be reassuring to return some of the energy she was beaming his way. He readily admitted his exhilaration any other time, a week ago even, would have known no bounds. Something like that. He would have at least been thrilled to be remembered, honored to be her friend. That still stood true, really. She had been such a cutie, and the first girl to make him not just feel attractive, but the first to appreciate him as an artist, a mind and soul. That book of his poems, modest though it was the first creative work he'd ever published for anyone outside his family. He felt as though he was taking up a mantle of sorts. She had enough soul to appreciate a thing like a simple book of poetry. She had had the most beautiful body of anyone who ever. I think of anyone in this town, I would be really happy to see you and talk with you again. Wow, that's very cool, he said, failing to sound completely nonplussed. He remembered how very badly he had wanted her. He probably never realized how close she'd come to being his very first. That one night had enchanted him like nothing before, and now nothing like that could happen because he couldn't just go out with her to see what would happen. He'd just given his heart to someone lovable and true. They had moved so fast, but he meant what he did and said with her. She was too special to pretend otherwise. I know I'm kind of dropping in out of nowhere, she said. I wouldn't be surprised if you were dating someone amazing, but you were that rare friend who was has such an incredible impact on you that and the way you see the world, you know? That's so flattering, April. You really blew my doors off, too. You made me feel like my inner life mattered. That's what I'm trying to say. You're so good with words, Lewis. She paused, still sounding very happy. I wonder what are you up to these days? Oh, how part of him, stirred by memories, remembered her in his arms, their special connection. But Gina shined brightly, even now in his mind. If ever one day he would learn that love could exist between more than two people, such a thing seemed utterly impossible to him now. Gina had become his wind and rain and sunshine itself. Suddenly, in the presence of this astounding little lady, he could see as clearly and definitely as ever. He now knew true love. Doll, I was planning on bugging out about a week ago, he began. I had worked my 2 week notice and Sat my eyes on the road. I bought a guitar this past summer and I've been writing too. I wanted to be what no one else ever said I could be. That's what makes you so cool, she beamed. You were the first person I knew who wasn't afraid to be creative as a way of life, not just an artistic person, but someone who got it philosophically. That really opened the world for me when I started meeting other artists, when I started modeling. I got to meet some very cool people. I'm really happy for you. Thanks. So I got really lucky even talking to you again. Sounds like I feel lucky too, he said. Now he had to tell her.